So every single mentor comes across a kid that they develop a relationship with, get close to, and they want to be around them for the rest of their lives. In a perfect world, that's what happened, but in the real world, we know that there's so many different things that take place throughout the lifetime of our lives and the children that we mentor. For me, it's a little bit different because I'm known for working with boys, actually. But the very first child that I ever worked with was a little girl. When I first met Mariah, I was volunteering at a church.
Can you feed it to me? Feed me the hamburger. It ain't done yet.
She had to be about 4 or 5 years old because I know she didn't start kindergarten yet. And she was one of the first kids that I ever got close to unexpectedly because I just wanted to work with children. I wanted to make a difference. But our relationship began to develop, and for some odd reason, we just got close to each other.
Count the what? Count the numbers. All right. 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what? I wonder where they're hiding. They could not be hiding under the bench. You by my leg? Yeah. Dang, this is a hard game of hide and go seek. I cannot find him.
And before I knew it, the rest is history. It's years later, and I'm still in her life. She's still a part of my life. But the biggest problem that I'm faced with right now is I'm recognizing that she's getting older, and she's not going to be a little girl forever. You start to question, is what I'm doing as a mentor helpful? As a male, is there much that I can do for this little girl as she gets older? And do I truthfully understand what women go through as they get older as well? This is my journey to try to figure out if I can continue to be a good mentor and if I can do what's right to help her progress throughout life. Yes, it's I said once you develop a relationship with certain kids, you get to the point to where you're picking them up and you feeding them and stuff. But it just feels normal. Certain things just feel right, and then it becomes normal. But like I said, it also feels right. It don't feel like it's any type of work. It don't feel like it's a hustle or you're struggling or anything. And when you got support from good parents too, it makes it just that much easier. So I really, really enjoy spending time with Mariah and other kids too.
Mommy haven't had a baby.
Yeah, I know.
But she not having one. She having 2 twins.
No, you said that last time. Stop.
No, this time they serious.
No, she is not.
She got pictures.
I ain't listening to you. I'm not listening to you.
Okay.
You don't know what you're talking about. I was able to keep in touch with Mariah because she went to the school not far from my job. Working at the community center allowed me to visit students I was assigned to. In the process of visiting my students, I would spend a lot of time with Mariah afterwards.
So when I first saw Mr. Dante, I was kind of like, who is this guy? The kids all know him, but I don't know who he is. And when I started to actually talk to the kids, they were telling me that they knew Mr. Dante from the neighborhood. And, I think it's just always a positive thing for the kids to see. Our student population is about 92% African-American here. And we do have several African-American female teachers, but we only have one African-American male teacher who's not even full-time because it's our physical education teacher. And the other black male that the students see on a regular basis is the custodian. And so it really humbled my heart to see an African-American male that was a positive role model for the kids to come into the school and really stress to them the importance of working hard, not just academically, but also on your character and your behavior, and that all of those things tie in together for your success. I can't really say that I had a male mentor that I looked up to until I was in high school. And, you know, my life background, I didn't really know my biological father. I didn't have a very good rapport with my stepfather. So I think from a young age, I had this negative sense of bonding with a male or looking up to a male or seeing a male as a mentor, which I see in a lot of our children as well.
Within my years volunteering at Ohio Avenue, I noticed Miss Della Flora keeps an open mind not only to the children, but also the teachers. Miss Cassetti, who was Day Mariah's teacher, has a great teaching style that complements Day Mariah's way of learning.
Day Mariah is, she makes me smile every single day because she does remind me of my daughter because she's very vocal and she is very loud, and when she has an answer to give, and she's very dedicated to her schoolwork. So when she has an answer to give, she's one of the first to put her hand up. Day Mariah works really hard to accomplish any task that I give her, even kind of anybody. She's like a go-to for anything. She's an organizer, she's creative, she's, like I said, she's talkative, but she is very respectful when I have to address her in any type of situation. She's fun to have in class.
Even though I devoted a large portion of my time towards Day Mariah, I made sure I built relationships with the other children in the classroom. What I wanted to do was ask the classroom about mentorship, because that's one of the big things that I'm questioning right now. And I have all of these different ideas and concepts as to what it really means. But what is a mentor, period? What I did was I asked the kids, and they told me the truth about how they felt. Who knows what a mentor is? Can you please raise your hand?
A mentor is your trainer, a person that helps you learn some more, extra learning. That's what a person who is always there for you and helps you with your problems. A person that is with you when you want them to help you with your schoolwork. A person that be nice to you and helps you and gives you a hand. Picks you up when you fall. I think a mentor is when you don't know how to do something, they help you do it. Somebody that's kind to you and when you're crying and they can cheer you up. A teacher, because teachers can help kids learn through life so they can get better when they grow up and they become teachers.
So after we had the conversation about mentors, I still question if they fully had a grasp on what a mentor was. A lot of the kids reverted to talking about teachers as if you had to have some type of title attached to your name just to be a mentor, when realistically, anybody can be a mentor. All that really matters is you understand and comprehend who you're dealing with, what their gifts are, what they need help with, and you jump in and you assist them. So outside of Miss Cassetti's class, I know some other children that I had the opportunity to meet. And there's two boys in particular that I really been drawn to this past year. One is named Mario and the other one is named Caleb. The way that they carry themselves and the wisdom that they have and the stuff that they talk about, you would think that you're talking to two grown men. But they still young kids. It's hard to believe, but it's the truth. But I really enjoy talking to them, and they both actually happen to be big brothers, and they have younger sisters. So I wanted to talk to them and see what they thought about being a mentor to their younger sister. What is it like being a big brother to your little sister?
Stressful sometimes, awesome sometimes, and boring sometimes.
So sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're annoying, sometimes they're boring. But y'all still love them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the best example you can set for your sister?
My favorite example is like, if you see me in the hallway and everybody else acting up and running around, don't follow the crowd, just be yourself. And then setting the example is like, you gotta be a good brother to her, because then she gonna see the stuff that you doing to her, and then she gonna think it's okay. And when she have a husband, you might not know, like, he might be a mean husband, and she think that's okay, and she might get abused or something, and that's not okay.
Her friends be acting fake to her and stuff and not trying to play with her. I ask her to come and hang out with me and my friends sometimes.
Well, what we're about to do is invite your sisters to a conversation. ain't gonna tell him what you said. All right. What is it like having a big brother?
It's nice because he protects me. He's a nice brother. He lets me play on his game, and he lets me do stuff. Well, like he lets me do a lot of stuff with him, and he's just a thoughtful brother.
So what are some of the things that you and your brother do together?
We watch movies together. We do karate together, and whatever our mom lets us go do, we have to do it together.
You look at your brother. Do you feel like you can say he's setting a good example?
Yeah.
Yes.
How?
Like she said, because he gets good grades. He's not bad in class. He's good at all sports. And yes, all the sports that you do.
Oh, she was talking about something else. I'm good at sports.
Just, it doesn't matter who it is, if it's a man or if it's a woman, if it's a boy or a girl. What are some things we can do to help out little girls?
If someone's like messing with her and talking about her, you could just tell her they just go somewhere else and play with somebody else, and don't listen to them. And the other thing is when she needs help, if someone's nice to be her friend or something, they could go over there and help her.
Something that I recognized as soon as I started working with young children is that young girls tend to go through self-image issues a lot younger and actually far more frequent than boys do. I believe I've seen boys go through it as well, and usually it's something that's materialistic. It may be the shoes or the clothes, and in due time you can buy some new shoes, you can buy some new clothes. But when it comes to girls, it seems like it's very personal. It may be their hair, it may be their skin, it may be so many different things that naturally come with who they are that plays a role in developing their self-esteem. So I sat down with Yvonne to have a conversation to see what's going on in the mind of a 16-year-old girl, because she's at that stage in her life where she's too young to be old and she's too old to be young, and it can be very difficult for her to understand what's going on, and we may not fully understand how she feels either.
I know Mr. Dante because when I was in elementary school, I went to Central Community House, and he was like a counselor, or he worked there, and he was pretty cool. The first time I met Mr. Dante, I thought it would be like pretty cool because I didn't know anybody at Central Community House, so I would be just sitting there. He was like one of the ones who would come up to talk to me, and if like I was down or something, he would like be one of the ones to give me motivational speeches and lift me up instead of like just sitting there and ignoring me like most of the teachers did. He showed that he actually cared. He's not, and like throughout the later years in my life, like even after I left Central Community House, he still kept in contact with me. I know he really cares, and I know that I can trust him and I feel safe around him. When I was when I was in elementary school and middle school, I always get bullied about my skin color. Like no one, like I used to be called like all types of names, burnt biscuits and stuff. But every time when I used to go home crying, this was like in the 3rd and 4th grade, when I used to go home crying, my mom would be like, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. She always said that, and that was one of the things that helped me like get over that, because I'd be like, well, my mama said the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So I meant like I didn't never know, like my mom would just always help me get through that. Like, but I always used to get bullied about that, and no one knows about that though, because nobody really care anymore. But people still say it today, but I really don't care. I learned how to do my own hair because my mom, she used to put these ugly hairstyles in my head, and everybody, when I go to school, everybody be like, oh, what is in her hair is so ugly. They always used to talk about my hair. So I was like, Mom, you're not doing my hair no more. When I was like 11, I started doing my own hair. I was like, I got this, don't touch it no more. Everybody used to talk about me and stuff, so I started doing it myself and doing it the ways other people would think that it was cute. I try to satisfy other people. I don't need other people's opinion, because at the end of the day, it's me, and this is my life, and it's not theirs, so they're not going to be there at the end of the day for me to like. I have to make my decisions in my life. I have to live this life. They don't, so they can't. I don't like having their opinions impacting on my life. So
Nowadays, Mariah, I am not completely sure if she has any insecurities, or if she is at a stage in her life where she's looking at herself and saying she's not pretty. But with Yvonne, I didn't think any of those things were going on, but they were at that point in time in her life when I knew her. As a mentor, I want to make sure that I'm able to see the signs in Day Mariah if they're present, because with Yvonne, I wasn't able to see them when they were happening. Something that I question in general is, do we as a society support and help push girls towards their dreams and their goals. A person that I look up to, who happens to be a friend of mine, Maya, who works at Columbus State, works with a lot of students, whether they be first generation or they just need a little bit more help around campus. What I appreciate about Maya is the fact that she offers a relationship beyond her title. I visualize Dave Mariah doing exactly what Maya is doing, and that's working with children, teenagers, or whoever is in front of her. And whether it be a college, elementary, middle school, wherever Dave Mariah decides to work, I know that Maya can set a very good example for her and give her an idea and a visual of what her life would be like when she does make that decision to start working with children.
I grew up on the east side of Detroit, right? Everyone, when they hear that I'm from the east side of Detroit, they act like it's foreign because apparently I don't fit the stereotype of east side Detroiters at all. But Detroit is my home. It's my family. Like, that's where I'm from. I came from a place where I just had a lot of support growing up, a lot of people around me that loved me, and I had a family that really believed in education. So my grandmother was an STNA. She worked at a hospital, and my grandfather retired from Ford, and they had this requirement on all the kids that they had to graduate high school. And once they graduated high school, they had the choice of either going to college for a year, they try it out, but if they didn't like it, they can go to the workforce or they can continue on with it. But we was in Detroit for most of my life, and then middle school, my mother decided we were going to move to Toledo. Now, Toledo is 45 minutes from Detroit, so it wasn't very far, but we were completely separated from all of my family, and we had to start over. And I remember before I moved there, my mom had left my brother and I with my aunt, and she moved into a battered women's shelter. And I didn't know, like, I never seen my mom be abused or anything like that, but that's like the power of a parent, right? So my childhood, I remember a lot of, fluffiness, like, the fun stuff or what have you. But now, as a woman and as an adult woman, I don't know how we made it. Like, my mom was a single mom. She got diagnosed with lupus when I was in 7th grade. And so I remember, like, having to cook, having to clean, having to, make sure she was okay. And I remember something switched in my mind, like, oh, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of stuff. And so that pushed me to work super hard, because, like, from that moment when she got diagnosed and I seen her one day not be able to get up in the morning, and she looked perfectly fine, but she physically couldn't move. And, like, at that moment I was like, all right, Maya, you got to take care of your mama. I remember having this carefree to this moment of something like just really switched in my head to where it was like a sense of, not necessarily urgency, but just sense of duty, right? And authority that I had to carry on. You don't think about how much it matters just to see somebody that you can marry yourself in. But that's what mattered to me. Like, the reason why I picked Columbus State was, I remember I came and I visited here, and I had looked online and I seen that Desiree and Renee were women of color in leadership positions. What we have to do is move the switch from being fearful, but live your life, like live your best life, live the best example that you can be for that person, and bring them with you. Like, when you get a seat at the table, bring them with you. You know what I mean? If you can go and do something, bring that kid with you, that little girl with you, but listen to her, because a lot of times, like, as women, even like today, or in my life today, sometimes I feel silent. Like, I feel like I don't have a voice at the table. Listen to young women, and live your best life, and give them an example of the life that they can live as well. And I think that that's how we make change, and that's how we make impact, and we change the world one person at a time.
With Dame Mariah, I want to make sure that I'm present within her life, and that I understand what she's going through, and she trusts me enough to tell me if something is wrong. As a mentor, there's certain lines that can't be crossed, and you only have so much access to children that aren't yours, or children that you can't see every single day, all day. But with the time that I do have, I want to make sure that I'm effective. I want to make sure that I'm present. And I want to make sure that I do what's right. And I want her to know that she's valuable right now. And I want to make sure that I can invest in her, and I can be present in every single moment where she does make an achievement. But I also know that there may come a time where I may need to back off, or things may change. There's been so many children that I thought I would be around forever, and the next day they were not there. the time that I do have right now, I want to make sure that I spend it wisely, and I want to make sure that I can learn what needs to be learned so I can be the most effective mentor and positive male role model for Dame Mariah.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
I'm gonna shout it from the rooftops. Yeah, from the rooftops.
I always excelled at writing, and I was always kind of like that token student to kind of take something and take it to the next level creatively, because I just kind of saw things differently. And I think when I decided to go with journalism as a major in my undergraduate career, it was the safe choice because I knew I was good at it, but it was never something that I was completely passionate about. I thought that passion would come because I was good at it. But I knew in terms of my creativity and my ability to take something and run with it, I knew that art was something that was meant for me. Coming into this program was something that was very new for me, you know, not coming from an artistic background, traditionally, if you will. And I wouldn't have known that the integrative design program would be such a good fit for me had I not gone forward. So with that, I'd say just follow your gut and just give something a try. Because if you don't, you just kind of won't ever know.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late...
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
I believe. You must believe.
The ladies 6 left 4, here we go. Come on.
Radio.
The ladies 6 left 4, here we go. Come on.
I'm gonna shout it from the roof.
This week's viral video. I turn my city upside down. They wanna see me up right now. I don't find my rhythm cause I'm used to it. Can't deny the fact the boy too groovy. Northside, baby, and it's all gravy. You wanna bust the ghost, you know who to call, baby. I'm a boss, baby, I don't have a boss payment. You know the boss 80s, you might have to call Reagan. Hey, hey,
Paparazzi rock a silver badge where I come from. I can show you how to get a bag if you want one. Don't be nervous, ask if you want some. Hustle in my veins, blame that on where I come from.
When you shoot the footage, get my good side. You like me way better on my good side. Every angle on it is a good side. I can show you what the real thing look like.
Rhyme and reason, stop believing, non-believers that do not believe in not a thing but rocky seasons, galaxies and Samsungs, Milky Way, Steve Jobs must be God. How we live on IG Live, but when the phone died, then we died. But I can show you how to get a bag if you want one. We don't never get a phone tap where I come from. We just get the cash, we don't flash where I come from. Money in the bank, in the stash, got a lump sum.
When you shoot the footage, get my good side. You like me way better on my good side. Every angle on it is a good side. I can show you what the real thing look like. When you shoot the footage, get my good side. You like me way better on my good side. Every angle on it is a good side. I can show you what the real thing look like.
I turn my city upside down. They wanna see me up right now. I turn my city upside down. They wanna see me up right now.
I can show you how to get a bag. I can show you how to get a bag if you want. I can show you how to get a bag. I can show you how to get a bag if you want one. I can show you how to get a bag. I can show you how to get a bag if you want one. I can show you how to get a bag. I can show you how to get a bag.
You think you got what it takes to be on TV? Well, submit your short film, music video, animation, and video opinion to citytalknewstv.com, and you can be seen on TV. Thank you for watching City Talk News TV show, and thank you to our sponsors.